Hey folks, it's Ira from West Lebanon Feed and Supply, and as we head into the cooler late fall and winter months, I've got a lot of people asking about where are the wild birds this year. Usually it's about the time of year that I start to put out seed and start to see a little more color and variety at my feeder. This year there doesn't seem to be much happening out there. So what exactly is going on? The first thing that I can say is right now it's almost November and it's about 75 degrees outside today, so obviously weather can have a lot to do with that. There are some things that we don't have a lot of control over, but there are a few things that you can do in order to make sure that you're at least ready for that time when there is snow cover on the ground, when the food that's out there and available right now becomes more scarce. There are things that you can do to get ready for when the birds are really looking to come back to your feeders and help get them through the winter months. Now, one of the first things that can happen when a feeder has been sitting and the seed has been in there for a while, we've had moisture and wet weather, and we don't happen to notice, but that seed can get wet, it can get stagnant and stale, it can even get a little bit moldy. So what we recommend doing, first of all, just before the season kicks off, get yourself a good brush or whatever tool that you would use to clean out your feeder, and give your feeder a good cleaning. It really does make a huge difference. The birds, they tend to be deterred by seed that smells moldy or has been wet, or there's just something about it that's a lot less appealing. We might not really notice the difference, but the birds certainly, as they're looking for a food source to carry them through the winter months, they're gonna start, as they are opportunistic, they're gonna start with the places that really have the freshest and the best variety for them. So getting new seed into the feeder is really important. But another thing that you can try is a different variety of seed. There are different blends that appeal to different varieties of birds. Of course, black oil sunflower is one of the most popular to cover the widest range, but there are other varieties and other mixes that really can sort of spice things up, make it a little bit interesting, and maybe do a better job of attracting birds back to your feeder, just giving them something unexpected. We've got so many different varieties to choose from, and one of the big things you're going to want to make sure of is just checking the kind of feeder that you have. So if you have a mixed seed feeder, a black oil sunflower seed feeder, you're going to want to make sure that you're putting something in there where the kernels are the right size for the ports or whatever it is that is the feeding mechanism for that feeder. If you've got a thistle feeder designed specifically for finches and things that like that thistle seed, those are going to be smaller ports to handle the smaller seeds. So just make sure you're not using the wrong kind of seed in the type of feeder that it's designed for. In addition to that bird seed, you could also add suet to the feeding experience in your backyard. Now, suet was a real game changer for the wild bird feeding that we were doing in our family because that really started to attract just some different colors and varieties around our feeder. We do have suet cages that you can hang from the bottoms of feeders, or we have different ways. There are feeders that have them built in, a lot of different ways to deliver suet as well as the bird seed to the birds in your backyard. So I highly recommend coming in and adding suet to your backyard experience for the wild birds, and just see what new varieties come your way. Another way to supplement the bird feeding experience for you would be to consider adding a bird bath, and we even have de-icers that can go in them to keep fresh, clean water available for the birds all winter long. That is something that as the food becomes more scarce in their patterns right now, and they're looking around to find sources for winter, that's just a feature that's going to even be more of an attraction for the wild birds to your backyard. Another thing to point out too is that the type of feeder that you're using does make a difference. So for example, cardinals and some of those birds that like to just perch and eat really do like sort of a platform type feeder. We've also got the tube feeders, great for finches. It's a good delivery system for that thistle seed. We've got such a wide variety of different feeders to choose from. So if you're looking to try to add a little variety, consider maybe trying a different style of feeder as well, because that really can make a difference. And again, what we're going for here as we're getting ready for the birds to start looking for food is to just do everything that you can to be the most attractive place for those wild birds to come and kind of hunker down during the winter months. We love talking about wild birds, so come on down and see us. We'd be glad to point you in the right direction and get you ready for the wild bird feeding season.